Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about The Wolverine. This is the second Wolverine movie featuring Hugh Jackman going solo, and I gotta say, man, this is a little bit better than the first Wolverine movie. Now, if you've seen my X-Men Origins Wolverine review, you already probably know, David, you liked the first Wolverine movie. Yes, I'm one of the few people on Earth that probably did enjoy that movie somewhat. I understand what they did to Deadpool. I understand the criticisms behind it. But for me, it was still an entertaining movie. I still found things enjoyable about it that I thought was better than X-Men The Last Stand, which I also find a little bit enjoyable here and there, although the weakest X-Men film by far, in my opinion. And yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine still wasn't perfect. I still don't put it like the best X-Men movie of all time. Just I found enjoyable things. I think this one, though, people can say is a little bit of a better film. This one is directed by James Mangold, who worked with Hugh Jackman on directing Kate and Leopold. He also directed one of my favorite movies, more smaller films, 3:10 to Yuma, the remake starring Christian Bale. And if you haven't seen that one, check that one out. So it was really interesting seeing this director take over the X-Men movies, or the Wolverine movies at least, and he will be directing the final one as well. And I thought he did a really good job. This movie is definitely a much smaller scale film compared to some of the other X-Men films, even X-Men Origins Wolverine. I feel that he definitely pulled it back a little bit and made it a more personal film rather than saving the world, you know? And I think that was a nice little change of pace, especially since this one came out in 2013 when we were getting Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, and Man of Steel. This one was different from those three by making it a more smaller personal approach, you know, by taking Wolverine to Japan. I should also note that this movie is based off a four-part issue comic, which takes Wolverine to Japan, but borrows a lot of elements from that storyline. If you haven't checked it out, I don't remember the name of the comic now or what number the issues are, but I'm sure you can check it out. Maybe if I remember, I'll put it in the description box below so you guys can look for it. But because my knowledge on comic books is very rare. But I did read the comics that this one was based off of, because this was during the time where I was starting to get more interested in seeing how these directors and writers interpret certain comic book storylines. So I read this one to really understand that. And right from the beginning of this movie, you actually see the opening panels of the comics come to life. That whole stuff in the beginning with the bear, Wolverine finding a bear that trashed the camp, and the bear, because the bear went crazy because of the poison arrow, that's actually in the comics. Literally, they almost took it from panel to panel, and even some of the words were even said in the movie. So that was actually really cool and really well done. But then the rest of the story starts going its own path, which is fine, because the movie shouldn't be beholden to what the comics have done. They should take their own approach, especially with how the X-Men franchise has gone. They've already, taken liberties to what they need to tell their stories with. I thought it was also nice to really bring back Make Jensen as Jean Grey, especially since this takes place after The Last Stand. We had X-Men: The First Class, and while this one was in production, we had already known that Bryan Singer's X-Men: Days of Future Past was also in the works, and that was going to be a semi-reboot. So the fact that the first Wolverine movie was a prequel to the X-Men trilogy, this one is now a continuation of where The Last Stand took place, and it has Wolverine trying to deal with the death of Jean Grey and having him wonder, do I want to continue life, I'm going to live on forever. People that I know are going to come and go as I continue aging. Do I want this life? Do I want to have this continuing factor? And it was great answers that were being questioned. I great questions that were being answered. I really liked that part of the storyline, and it really made you sympathize for Wolverine a little bit. I will say the movie kind of loses it a little bit towards the end of the film when Viper starts unleashing her diabolical plan, and with the real villain who's really in tow, dressed up as the Silver Samurai. If you're a huge Silver Samurai fan, I don't know too much about the comics, but from what I heard, some people feel it dropped the ball a little bit on that. But the good news is it doesn't sound like it's a Deadpool drop the ball, like how they did with him in X-Men Origins Wolverine. This one sounds like it's okay. This one can be easily forgiven. And yeah, so guys, I'm going to recommend this movie. I think it is one of the better X-Men films. Not the best X-Men films, but definitely not the worst. And if you were disappointed in X-Men Origins Wolverine, maybe skip that one and go straight to this Wolverine film. This maybe feels like the true Wolverine film that we should have gotten in the beginning, maybe, in a lot of ways. And don't expect something over the top. Like I said, this is a more personal film, which maybe is also why it's a lot better than the first one. The Wolverine solo films don't have to be your over the top. Not every superhero film needs to be that. It's nice to get a quiet one once in a while, and that's what this one is. So guys, tell me, what did you think of the Wolverine? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was better than X-Men Origins Wolverine? Or did you think that one was better than this one? I don't know. So I'm going to end it here. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and check out my new podcast. I already have 3 episodes up with me and a couple of friends, and where we talk about movies. And until next time, take care.